Class, today we're going to be talking about solving linear equations. So you should already have your ISN out. Go ahead and title your page and draw a straight line down the side of your paper because we're going to be doing Cornell notes. First of all, you need to know what linear equations are. A linear equation is an equation between two variables that gives a straight line when plotted on a graph. For the sake of this lesson, we're not going to be plotting on graphs, but you do need to know this for future lessons. We're going to be solving problems today. So, we're going to start with our first example problem. 4x plus 2 equals 14. And of course, our goal here is to solve for x. So to do that, we're going to first look at our problem and see that the easiest thing for us to do right now is to get rid of this 2. In order to get rid of the 2, we have to subtract 2 on both sides of the equal sign, okay? When I have 2 subtract 2, that's going to give me 0. So that's going to cancel out. 14 minus 2 is going to give me 12, so I'm going to bring that down. Keeping my equal sign lined up. I don't have to write 0 down here because 0 means nothing. I'm just going to bring down 4x. So now I have 4x equals 12. To solve for x, since 4x is the same thing as 4 times x, I'm going to do the opposite of multiplication, which is division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So that is just going to leave x on this side of the equal sign. And 12 divided by 4 is 3. So my final answer here is x equals 3. Let's do another problem. If you want to try this problem without me, pause the video here and work out the problem, and then come back and see me work it out. Check your answers to see if you're on the right track. However, if you would like to just see me work the problem, let's jump into it. So we have 5 times, parentheses, x plus 2 equals 50. The first thing that we should notice is that this is a setup for distributive property. So we're going to distribute this 5 to the numbers inside of the parentheses. So that means this is going to be the same thing as saying 5 times x, or 5x, plus 5 times 2, which is going to be 10, equals 50. Okay? Moving along, the next thing that we can do is to get rid of the 10, and we can do that by subtracting 10 on both sides of the equal sign. 10 minus 10 is going to cancel out and be 0, but 50 minus 10 is going to be 40. I'm going to bring down my equal sign, and then I'm going to bring down this 5x that's left on this side of the equal sign. Next, finally, I'm going to divide both sides by 5 so that I can get x by itself. I'm dividing because 5 divided by 5 is 1, which cancels that out, and leaves me with just x on this side. 40 divided by 5 is going to give me 8, so my answer is x equals 8. Okay? Moving right along. Next problem. If you think you can solve this problem, you can go ahead and jump into it. But if not, let's work it out together. The first thing you should notice is that we have this situation with a dividing line, a division problem set up here on this side of the equal sign. So in order to kind of cancel this 2 out and get rid of this denominator of 2, I'm going to multiply this side by the number 2, which as we know is 2 over 1. I'm going to do the same thing here on this side, okay? 2 over 2 is going to cancel out because that's going to be 1. So that's going to leave me with x plus 5 on this side equals negative 3 times 2 is going to be negative 6, okay? Now for those who need to see what I did a little bit clearly, I'll show you again right here. So that you can kind of understand this. What I did was I multiplied both sides by a whole number 2, okay? 2 over 2, that's going to be the same thing as this. If there's a 2 in the numerator and a 2 in the denominator, they're going to both cancel out to equal 1. So that's why these two canceled out, leaving me with x plus 5 on this side of the equal sign. Okay? Moving right along. The last thing I have to do is get rid of this 5. So since this is plus 5, I have to subtract 5 from both sides. Okay? 5 minus 5 is going to be 0. That's going to cancel out, leaving me with an x on this side. And if I have negative 6 plus negative 5, that's going to give me negative 11. Now, for those who can't see that this is a plus situation, if I have negative 6 minus 5, that's the same thing as me saying negative 6 plus negative 5. And if I add these two negatives together, that's going to give me a negative 11, which is my final answer. Last but not least, for our final problem, we have x over 10 minus 8 equals negative 16. The first thing I'm going to do to get x as a whole is to multiply both sides by a whole number 10. Okay? Both sides of the equal sign. 10 over 10 is going to be 1, so that's going to leave me with x minus 8 equals negative 160. Okay? The next thing I'm going to have to do is add 8 on both sides. Negative and a positive 8 cancel out, leaving me with 0. So I only have an x on this side of the equal sign. And then, now I have a problem where I have negative 160 plus 8. Okay? Because the negative number is the higher number, my answer is going to be negative 152. Okay? Because same signs, add and keep, different signs subtract, but keep the sign of the higher number, then you'll be exact. Alright, now that we have done these problems, you can go ahead and work on the worksheet, and if you need any help, reference this video, reference your notes, ask a classmate, and then ask me for help. See ya!